Hey there! Today we are going to make a vegetable market. Well, this sounds interesting. Let's see what do we have in our book. This is the last drawing of our book. Hence, this looks a little complicated. Why don't we draw this on the next sheet of paper? At first, let's start by making all the details which we have in the book already. Well, yes, we see a traced drawing right here. We need to trace whatever we see in the book and then continue adding more detailed versions in the drawing. Go ahead by making this man who's facing on the left side. It looks like he's buying something. Now we will make another woman who's standing right here. Well, she's holding something in her hand. What does it look like? Well, yes, it looks like a watermelon. Let's make this entire thing in a similar way. Once we are done tracing this, we will start by making the entire drawing in a better way. Let's give it a few detailings. Always remember to continue making in sections. So, we will start by making the top section first. Otherwise, if we just keep making different sections in one go, it gets very difficult for us to concentrate and understand what we've drawn and what we've missed out on. Focus on the right side now. Continue making these details. And now let's make this for the lady. Make the sari slowly and nicely. And then make the dress of the girl. Continue making the features of this lady and then her shawl or her dupatta. If you're not confident on what you're drawing, not to worry. You can draw it a little lighter at first, which is going to be a rough drawing, and then you can continue making a fair drawing. Let's make his mustache and then start by making these stacked watermelons. It is fine if your drawing is a little different than the one which is mentioned in the book. Try and make as similar as possible. Make all these intricate details nicely. And try and not miss out on anything in the drawing. Continue making this man nicely. That's lovely. And look at that. We're done with all the details. Next up, let's start painting this. We will start with the background wash, wherein we will take ochre color, which is very little color and a lot of water. Let's add water to it and then start doing the road. Keep your book in such a way that it is easier for you to paint the entire thing. Let's be a little faster while painting this. Yes, as we need to do a lot of things in this. Complete it nicely. This looks brilliant. Let's use the same color for multiple locations. But before that, let's use this and make these parts a little darker so that it looks like the shadow of the people who are standing. Looks quite interesting, isn't it? Paint this at multiple other locations. And yes, you can make them a little darker at a few places. Once we are done with all these places to be a little darker, let's go ahead with the next color, which is brown color for this lady's sari. Make sure that you use a very thin paintbrush so that it gets easier for you to paint it. Well, we know that we are going to make these circular dots on top of the sari later. So, let the entire design dry up at first. Let's paint this nicely with brown color. Next up, let's use yellow color for different sections. Paint this slowly and nicely. And now let's use red color for this part where we see tomatoes. Do all the parts which are red in color now. And then we can mix very little brown in it to make maroon color. Looks very interesting. Now we will use green color at multiple such locations. Paint this with a very thin paintbrush. This looks amazing. Let's go ahead by painting light green in different locations now. Let's paint blue color for the dress. Paint it slowly and nicely. Next up, we will use bluish grey color for this section. Looks like a very light blue, isn't it? Continue making this nicely. If you feel that you've missed out on drawing anything specific, please draw it nicely and then paint it. Let's paint this space with grey color. And this space too. let's take a different shade of blue or lavender and start doing this sari. After that, let's do this match nicely with the same color. That's interesting. Continue doing a shade of blue and green for this kurta and then pink for her dupatta. Let's use this pink for the sari as well and for the bag right here. Now we will use purple or violet color for this section. Let's use brownish color for the chappals and then purple for the brinjal. Go ahead and paint this nicely. Next up, let's start doing skin color for all the body parts. And then do the final touch-ups and the hair. Let this drawing dry out and then we will start sketching this. Go very slow while sketching the entire drawing and make sure that you do a proper outline for this one. Sketch this slowly and nicely. This looks very interesting, isn't it? Looks lovely. Let's use a micro tip pen for all of these details now. Well, yes, complete the entire thing in a similar way. This looks wonderful.